Here's an example of solving a chase problem. Just like any kinematics problem, we want to use our V0, V final, A, delta, and T. And we need two columns, one for Hawk and one for Thor, since we have two objects moving in this problem. So we look through the information that's given and set up our table. It starts with Hawk going 60 meters per second. And it says that Hawk starts first. Thor needs to swing his hammer, so Hawk is going 3 seconds more than Thor. So Thor gets time T, and Hawk gets time T plus 3. I keep looking along and I see that Thor accelerates at 7 meters per second squared. And we want to know how long it takes for Thor to catch up to Hawk. And also, how fast is Thor going when he reaches Hawk? And lastly, how far Thor had to fly. So it doesn't say anything about Thor's initial speed, so we just say that it's 0 meters per second. And we see that Hawk is going to go some distance x and end up across the screen. And Thor is going to end up going the same x. They're side by side. He's going past Thor, and then Thor catches him. So they both get an x value. Hawk's acceleration is 0 meters per second squared because nothing is mentioned. So the pieces that match up are V0, A, delta, and T. So we can use delta x equals V0 T plus 1/2 AT squared. We put in the information that we have for Hawk. We know that Hawk's initial velocity is 60. Hawk's time is T plus 3 and has no acceleration. We put in Thor's information. We have x. There is no initial velocity. Acceleration for Thor is 7. Then, since both of those are equal to x, we can set them equal to each other. Make sure you distribute that 60. 60 times t and 60 times 3 gives us 60t plus 180. Then we can get everything on to the same side, and we can run this through the quadratic. And as you put in your variables, remember c is always the constant. That helps me get things lined up properly. And I go through and I evaluate this. And I find that the time is 121.5 over 7, or negative 1.5 over 7, which is 17.4 seconds, or negative 2.1. Remember, we want the positive answer because we want to know when in the future. If we were looking about something in the past, the negative answer would be helpful. So now we know the time for Thor is 17.4 seconds, and Hawk's time is 3 greater than that, or 20.4 seconds. Now we can find out how far Thor went by solving in that time for his x equation. Then we can find Thor's final velocity by doing V final equals V0 plus AT. Remember, Thor's initial velocity is 0. Thor's acceleration was given at 7, and we found the time to be 17.4 seconds. So we find Thor's final velocity to be 121.8 meters per second.